Marvel vs. Capcom. Ever since the iconic Versus series started in the 90s, the two companies have fought several times in both official and unofficial crossovers. I often like pairing them together, as I'm a big fan of both. Recently, both the Spider-Verse franchise and Marvel Rivals have been hugely successful for the comic brand, and both of these feature one of the most unique spider heroes, the mech pilot, Peni Parker. Funnily enough, Capcom has announced a new Mega Man game, another franchise that is synonymous with robots. While not part of the main series, there is a Mega Man character from the Legends series that pilots a mech as well. So here's my question. Who would win between Peni Parker and Tron Bonne? And is it even close? My name is Mr. Catface, and this is Catface Versus. I have several ideas lined up still, but I want to know your opinion, so comment any ideas you have down below. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. I focus on versus debating discussion and power scaling questions. The only rule here is to keep it civil. Okay, let's go. Let's start with Peni Parker. While Peni does originate from the comics, I don't think it's crazy to say she's only as popular as she is due to her recent involvement in projects like Spider-Verse and Rivals. I mean, literally the day after the script was done, they announced her for Tokal and Fighting Souls, and she looks like Tron Bonne. What are the odds of that? Anyway, those will be the focus today when covering her scaling, as they are the versions most people are familiar with. However, I did look into the comics while researching, so I'll briefly touch upon it when I think I should. Peni is her universe's Spider-Man, or in this case, Spider-Robot, as she pilots her mech known as Spider. She's incredibly smart when it comes to technology, with her being considered a genius, especially for her age. She has the standard Spider-Man powers like sticking to walls, enhanced strength, and the oh-so-very powerful spider sense. Compared to most spider people though, she isn't exceptional. She doesn't need to be, as she has her mech. Spider is incredibly versatile, having the same types of powers as the spider people as well. It can scan areas to look for advantageous positions and weaknesses, or find enemies who are hiding from its sight. It's portable, as it can grow and shrink at will to fit in the palm of Peni's hand. Its firepower includes stuff like bullets, missiles, or stationary mines, controlling both the ground and the air in combat situations. Of course, I can't exclude a spider's best friend, webs. These can be fired as projectiles, or used as traps to wrap foes up, or be placed on the ground to heal Peni and her allies. This is on top of the fact that Peni pilots the mech, so her skill set is added to the mechs, like her intelligence, both in the book and in a fight. Spider doesn't seem to run on any sort of fuel, so it's possible it can keep fighting as long as Peni keeps controlling it. As a spider person, Peni has supernatural level of stamina, so she can pilot it for a long time. Even if she does pass out, Spider can move independently of her. This lets Peni have advantage over other mech users, along with her ability to hack other machines. This is all cool, but how does she stack up in the stat department? Well, let's go through different versions of her and figure that out. Well, Peni should be comparable to other spider people, within reason. Obviously, there are moments in comics where they contend with characters that are a threat to more than just their friendly neighborhood. Peni definitely wouldn't scale to any of that, as it's not even considered standard for most of them. Starting with Spider-Verse Peni, she doesn't have much on-screen feats, as she is a side character. Before Miles became Spider-Man, there was a Peter Parker in his universe who stopped this gigantic gear from turning. The kinetic energy needed to stop this gear would be nearly 3 tons of TNT, or large building level. This Spider-Man should be inferior to most of the Spider-Verse cast, including Peni. This also lines up with comic Peni, who scales to other large building level characters. Though, if you're generous, there are a few city block level characters she might be comparable to. However, her best scaling comes from Marvel Rivals. As she's a playable character, she's able to contend with all the other playable characters in the game. So, anything one of them can do is probably something Peni can do as well. There are, as you might expect, several building level feats in the game, lining up with the comics. There are even city block level feats as well, though some of those comes from ultimate abilities. Those aren't the strongest feats of any of the playable characters though. All the way back in Season 1, Blood Berserker Wolverine slices the moon. These are huge slashes, and when count, come out to nearly 300 petatons of TNT, or multi-continental. This means Marvel Rivals Peni, even being generous to comics Peni, is over 4 trillion times more powerful. The craziest part is that isn't the strongest feat in the game. When Dracula was revealed to be the next non-playable villain, he fought with Dr. Doom. Dracula moved the moon into the sky incredibly fast. Now you may not think moving the moon is more impressive than slashing the moon, but moving the entire celestial body that quickly would actually be around 590 million times more impressive than Wolverine's feat. This pushes past continental and moon level to be large planet level. Of course, these moon feats are also nearing light speed, due to the distance covered in a short period of time. Of course, the other versions of Penny don't scale that high in the speed tiers, but spider people are still very fast, ranging from the subsonics to even hypersonic ranges. Penny may not be as popular or powerful as Peter or Miles, but she is more than capable of hanging with them. This super unique spider mech and her genius level intellect makes her more than worthy to be called a spider person, no matter which Spider-Verse she calls her home. From hero to villain, let's talk about Tron Bonne. Mega Man characters including Tron have been featured in all sorts of crossovers. I'll be focusing on canon material for this rundown, as that's the primary version of her. While some crossovers are debatably more canon than others, I'm choosing to keep it simple. As the middle child of an infamous family of air pirates, Tron has an affinity for mischief and thievery. She accomplishes this through her genius-level knowledge of machinery and construction. Despite her opposition to his heroics, Tron has a love-hate relationship with Mega Man Volnut. Even without any preparation of weapons, she can hold her own with her tricky deception and endurance, including E-bottles to heal her allies. Her bread and butter is machinery though. She builds all sorts of machines and robots for the Bonne family, including herself. Her most famous creations are the Servbots, a collection of 41 servant robots who, well, serve the Bonne family. They really are more like children to Tron than minions, despite the outward appearances. Servbots are much stronger than they appear, and have all sorts of different purposes and weapons that can distract even the likes of Mega Man. She also has other robots, like Finkel for her scouting and data collection droid, and tanks for her Servbots to use. If Tron does have to fight, she has her choice of dozens of mechs she's made. The first mech we see her use is Ferdinand, a huge quadrupedal machine with wheels that allows for great mobility, which it uses to fire bullets and bombs at range. The Balkan Geralt is used for aquatic combat, floating while acting as a huge fortress. The Focke-Wulf flies through the skies, raining missile death on those approaching it. The Theodore Bruno gives the Colossi a run for their money in terms of size, standing nearly 150 feet tall. We could keep going as she has a collection, but her favorite is clearly her iconic Gustav. Its appearance has changed in different versions, with it being more tank-like in some and more hovercraft in others, but its most iconic look has an exposed top, so you know exactly who's defeating you. A trait they all share is strength and great mobility. The Gustav can fire bullets, bombs, missiles, lasers, and its beacon bomb, which sends her Servbot army to attack a target. With it being her go-to mech, how strong are Tron's mechs? Well, Tron's scaling is fairly simple. Her battles with her crush prove her machines are comparable to him, meaning she scales to just about all the characters in Mega Man Legends. While the Legends series is regarded as the weakest Mega Man universe, it doesn't mean they're slouches in terms of power. Even weaker alternate Mega Mans can contend with Robo Masters like Electman and Iceman, who can counteract a city exploding. This is backed up by city level feats being pretty common in the Legends series. Even basic robots can surpass that though. Reaver bots are not considered to be impressive compared to the likes of Mega Man and Tron, but they are capable of sustaining massive oceanic storms. These storms would be in the range of 400 gigatons or large island levels of power. Considering their track record, Servbots should be in a similar range of power at the very least. What about Tron at her best? Well, the most impressive feat from the Legend series comes from the mother unit of Elysium, Sarah. In her battles with Mega Man, she is capable of creating and shooting black holes, rather casually too. These are undoubtedly real singularities, not only based on guidebook descriptions, but their effect in-game. Based on their size, this would take planet levels of power to contest with, which Tron should scale to. She is constantly shown to be on par with Volnut, including around the time he fought Sarah. Considering Tron's status in the series, there is no room for doubt her scaling to this, especially since she has fought Volnut after this in alternate versions. Besides strength, it's impressive how fast Volnut moves to escape its pull, being around 40% the speed of light. Considering there are light speed attacks in Legends, that's not much of a surprise. In the end, Tron is an air pirate, but her determination and relationship with Volnut elevates her to more than just another villain. So who's gonna win? The marvelous rival Peni Parker or the mega maniacal legend Tron Bonne? Well, it's not really close. That may sound a little surprising since they both seem to match up really well. They both have mastery of technology and machinery, with equal experience fighting a variety of strong opponents. Penny can pilot Spider for a long time, but Tron has a variety of mechs you can rely on if one goes down. They both have bullets, missiles, and ways of healing their mechs. They seem to be as fast as each other as well. The escape velocity of the Legend's black hole is about 40% the speed of light, while Wolverine's trip to the moon was about 34%, only a tad slower. Both are capable of messing with celestial bodies, making them insanely powerful. The difference is the feats in question. Sarah's black hole is around 1.67 yotatons, while Dracula's moon feat was 169 yotatons, just about 100 times greater. If Penny scales to Dracula, she has a massive stat advantage. That's not actually why this isn't close, as I did just say if she scales to other playable characters, but as I said, Dracula isn't playable in Rivals. He literally beats the main cast easily in lore, so there's no doubt he's far superior to them. If they make him playable later, you could make an argument for it, but even then, looking at the cutscene, it's very vague what's actually happening, if anything is at all. For all intents and purposes, this is just a cool visual for his entrance, not meant to be part of the lore. The best feat we can actually scale Penny to is Wolverine's Moonslash. Even that is generous, as it is literally an opening cinematic for a cosmetic. That would put peak Penny at multi-continental, far from Tron Bonne's planet-level scales. Without that, city block level Penny gets destroyed by a single serve bot. It's true Tron's never actually fought Sarah herself, but it would be disingenuous to say she's not capable of it, when she's very clearly on par with Volnut, a direct rival. I don't mean to pull the rug out from under you, but Penny's actual consistent feats put her far below even the basic robot masters, by literally billions of times. Penny's only real win condition is her hacking skills, but even then, there's no real evidence to prove she could out-hack someone who's considered a super genius in a universe full of technological geniuses. Her spider sense might give her an edge, but she starts off slower and weaker. But just for fun, let's get stupid. In Marvel Rivals, Scarlet Witch is stated to be one of the forces keeping the universe together, and she could, quote, tear reality apart if she's not careful. These statements are super vague and don't mean very much, as that's her magical abilities, not her attacking power. But, assuming Rivals Wanda was a full-blown universe buster, and also assuming Penny was as powerful as her, this would mean Penny would be above baseline canon Tron. However, you'd be using every Penny timeline and scaling her to every character who would beat her easily, while only using 2 games of Tron where she has actual direct canon scaling. If you give Tron all her major appearances from official Capcom material, well, Tron beat Galactus. Yeah, this discussion is over. Tron Bonne completely slams Peni Parker. Well, that's the video. What did you think? How high do you think Penny should scale? It takes a lot of hoops and jumps to make her even close to Tron. What Marvel vs. Capcom matchup do you think I should do next? Let me know and drop a sub so you don't miss the next one. Until then, this is Mr. Catface, signing off. God bless.